Hi, I am actually going to demonstrate how I made this cute little mini book here this morning. Couple things on the book here is the dimension. Our overall book, is going to be 2 inches by 1.5 inches. And all of the things that I'm going to use today to make my little book, I basically went and purchased at Walmart for about $6. So if you don't have a craft store that's close to you and you're looking for kind of a cute little project to make, my book I think turned out really cute, and I'm going to show you how I made that here. So a couple of the things that I bought then at Walmart, I was at a conference and had an evening to blow, so I stopped at the Walmart quick and grabbed some supplies. So I bought the 3x5 plain index cards and just a little notebook here for like 27 cents so I could get some paper. The other things that I bought was a little sewing kit. I wanted the scissors and actually the thread so I could stitch my pages into my book. And you can see the little knots here on the outside. That was how I attached my pages instead of trying to glue and do all that kind of stuff. So I bought just a little sample sewing kit with just a few supplies in it. And then for the paint and that kind of stuff, I just bought a regular little watercolor palette. I did buy hopefully you can see this, the Brilliant color. And I do like the colors that painted and came out onto my book here. So I'm just going to do some measuring here to begin with. So we're going to start with a card, and because it is kind of thin, I'm going to double it up. So we're just going to mark on here at 4 inches, and I'm going to cut, and then I'll be back. Okay. So I've got my stuff cut here now. I'm going to start with, this will be our cover. So basically what I'm going to do is just glue this together here. Make sure you get the edges nice and glued well. And again, you know, I had just picked up a little 2-pack at Walmart for the glue. So, oh, I got paint on the outside here. So, again, my little book is basically 2 inches by 3 inches at this point, so that when we fold it in half, it'll measure out to be 1.5 inches here. So the pages then, I took those out of my little notebook. These also are 3x5, so it'll be perfect. So when we fold them in half, they're going to be my 1.5 inches. And then those two I just cut down to be about 2 inches here so that they'll fit inside our book. So I'm going to, then when we go to put those into our book, I might need to trim these down just a little bit more. I may trim off the edges. I'm not sure. On my first book, I didn't mind that the pages stuck out here just a little bit, but I may trim them just a little bit so that they're inside. So I'm going to trim these and then I'll be back. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to paint our little cover here. And again, just to kind of stick with the supplies basically that I told you, we're going to just use basically what I have, or what I had purchased from Walmart here. So I'm just going to use my little paint palette, and I think we'll start kind of with this red here maybe. Now this is just a little template here that I had cut out of paper, so you could, you know, make your own little template here again. So we're just gonna use my little template just to get a little color down. And I'm okay if it kind of runs together, that's no big deal. Like I said, I just want to get kind of the color on. I'm going to take my blue here and like I said, maybe just get a little color on. Really not too fussy about what it might look like here at this point. And the yellow was really nice. So I think I'm going to take some of the yellow. And we'll maybe just run that down the seam here and kind of let it do its little thing. Now I got a little green mix going on down at the very bottom, so maybe I don't want to enhance that. I'm just going to take a little green and let that run just down at the very bottom all the way across the edge of my paper here. Now I'm going to dry this quick and then we'll come back and I'll show you how we're going to put this together. Okay, so I kind of added just a little purple here and I'm trying to decide, I think I'm going to add just a few little purple splatters here. So I got my little paintbrush kind of loaded and we'll just kind of tap this here a little bit and add a little more color. Now I really, I like this red really well. I think I may go back and add just a little bit more. I added, like I said, a little purple here, and we'll kind of add just a little more red back into our little, whatever you want to call these here. And we'll just kind of run this here. I shouldn't maybe have, oh well. We'll just add a little kind of color in those whites here just a little bit. So, okay, I'm actually, I think, whoops, I had a little bug boo. I'm going to dry this here. So, I added just a few little doodle details onto my card. And I'm ready to go ahead and stitch my pages into my book. So again, these measure 2 inches here by about 2 3/4. I trimmed these just a little bit so that the pages would be completely inside my book. So I'm just going to fold these in half here now. And I got my little thing of thread. Now since I've used red on the outside, I kind of want my thread to stick out on the outside of the book here. So I'm just going to measure off, I don't know, maybe about a little arm's width here. And I will warn you that if you buy just the kit at Walmart, the scissors that come in that pack are crap. So, you know, if you can spend an extra 50 cents and get a little cheap pair of scissors at Walmart too, I would say go for it, because I know when I made my first little book, I pretty much just trashed those little scissors trying to cut my paper. So if you're trying to truly use just the supplies that you buy there, it's worth the extra 50 cents to buy a better pair of scissors. So I'm just going to stick my needle or get my thread loaded, maybe onto my needle here, and I am going to double this up. And then, like I said, I like being able to see the knot on the outside, so my thread is just doubled up here. I'm just going to knot it with a regular knot, nothing fancy here. And I think with this book though, I'm only going to add one set of pages, so it's not quite as thick. My first book, I did put 2 separate sets of pages in. If you were going to do that, I would go, I'll show you in just a moment. If you're just adding, you know, 1 set of pages, you should be able to go pretty much right into the middle of your book here and put your pages in. When I did my first book, I added kind of 2 separate hunks of pages. You can kind of see I got one section here, and there's a little opening, and then here's my second set. Now when I did these, I did go just a smidge off of center, so I don't know if you can see, I've got my center fold, and then my stitches to hold my pages in are just a smidge off of center here, just so that I could get them in. You know, if you were going to do groups of 3, you could go, you know, just a smidge off center and then right in the middle on your fold. But I think for this book, like I said, I'm just going to go right in the middle here. So go ahead and open your book, put your pages in, and I want to make sure that I'm not, you don't want to be too close to the edge or to the top. You want to make sure that you're well inside that so that it's not going to come out. Now I did start on the outside because again, I want my stitches to show on the outside of the book. So I'm going to go right through my little fold here, and I'm just going to stitch and go ahead and pull through. Now on the inside here, I'm just going to measure up to where I want it to be and then poke through and pull so that I can get this. So now I want to make sure I'm stitching just a couple times here on the outside to make sure that I've got a good amount of thread, so as you open and close your book that there aren't going to be any issues with your pages coming out. Now I am going to go through that top hole again, and I didn't go directly right over my knot on the second one. I went kind of right beside it, so I'm actually going to go through that hole again now to finish stitching these in. So we'll just kind of go through here a couple times. Now I only have just a little bit of thread left, and I'm going to want to tie another knot here on the outside. So I've only gone through just a couple times, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim that off and leave nice long tails this first time so that I am able to tie my knot easily, and then we'll trim these off. So I'm just going to knot that, and you want to tie it down nice and tight. You might have to put a couple little knots in here, and that's okay. So like I said, we want to make sure that this is going to stay here. Whoops. Well, for heaven's sakes. And once you got enough knots in there and you're happy with it, then you can go back and trim that off. And then you've got this cute little book with your little stitches here on the outside. And this is my cute little mini book here. Thank you for watching. Okay, I am done with my little book, so I'm just going to show you. This was my front cover here, and this is the inside. It says Whispered Revelations, and I just did a little collage on this page. I did sew a little piece. The one thing I would say, remember we used just notebook paper, and if you're going to paint and that kind of stuff, I found it a little difficult. I almost had to double up the pages. So this is the next couple pages. Adventures to Mount Pleasant from trustworthy sources, of course. So most of the pages I either doubled up and just glued them together, or put some other paper on them. Here's my next pages here. Let me see if I can get this into focus here just a little bit better for you. There we go. Be happy. Go dream and discover. To become overwhelmed. To be overcome with surprise. And then the last page is it was a journey and the end. And then this is the back little cover here for me. So, yeah. So I was going to say, the little notebook pages worked out great. But if you're going to paint or do, you know, anything where you're going to be a little more aggressive with the pages, most of them, like I said, I either put additional paper on or I glued them together just to give them a little bit more support so that there was a little bit more strength to the pages. So thank you for watching. Much appreciated.